Narrator. On a cold December night in 1965, the quiet, unassuming town of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, was thrust into the heart of one of America's most enduring mysteries. What began as a spectacular aerial phenomenon quickly escalated into an event shrouded in military secrecy, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and a chilling sense of unease. For decades, the official story has been a convenient dismissal, but tonight we peel back the layers of deception to reveal the untold truth. The night the sky fell, December 9th, 1965. Narrator. It was Thursday, December 9th, 1965, just after 4:30 p.m. As daylight faded into the twilight, a fiery object, brighter than anything most had ever seen, began its descent across the evening sky. From as far north as Ontario, Canada, and stretching south through Ohio, West Virginia, and into Pennsylvania, thousands witnessed the spectacle. News channels across the Midwest were flooded with calls. Many described a brilliant fireball, leaving a vibrant green or blue-green trail, moving with an impossible speed and precision. But for the residents of Kecksburg, this wasn't just a distant light show. It was heading directly for them. Mrs. Mary Jones, from archival accounts, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. Not a plane, not a meteor. It was too controlled, and then it just got bigger and bigger, heading right for the woods. Narrator. In Kecksburg, the phenomenon culminated in what many described as a low, guttural thud, a sound that reverberated through the very ground beneath their feet. For some, it felt like an earthquake. For others, the impact shook their homes, rattling windows and awakening a primal fear. Instinct took over. Before any official response could be mounted, local volunteer firefighters, led by their chief, raced towards the suspected crash site in the dense woods of the Kecksburg State Park. What they found, or rather, what they glimpsed, would forever change their understanding of reality. The military lockdown, a swift and silent takeover. Narrator. Within minutes of the crash, the Kecksburg Volunteer Fire Department was on the scene. They navigated the treacherous terrain, following the subtle scorch marks and disturbed foliage. What they discovered wasn't a burning wreckage or the scattered debris of a meteor. Instead, they reported a single metallic object partially embedded in the earth. Their initial descriptions were perplexing. It was bell or acorn-shaped, roughly the size of a small Volkswagen Beetle, and appeared to be made of a seamless, bronze-like metal. Most strikingly, around its base, strange, hieroglyphic-like symbols were reportedly visible, unlike anything terrestrial. But their time to investigate was brutally short-lived. Former Kecksburg firefighter James Roman, from interview accounts, we got there first. And it wasn't burning. It was just sitting there, steaming. And those symbols, I've never seen anything like them. Then, out of nowhere, the military swarmed in. They pushed us back, told us to leave. No questions asked. It was like a movie, but it was real. Narrator. Within an hour, the entire area was a fortress. Military police, armed soldiers, and even units from the U.S. Army and Air Force, including the specialized 662nd Aerospace Control Squadron, descended upon Kecksburg. Roads were blocked. Roadblocks were established for miles around, and any civilian attempting to approach the crash site was swiftly turned away, often with stern warnings. Helicopters hovered overhead, their blades cutting through the December air, adding to the growing sense of urgency and dread. It was clear this was no ordinary meteor incident. The sheer scale and speed of the military response suggested a pre-planned operation, ready to be deployed at a moment's notice, for an event they seemingly expected. Who were the orchestrators of this lightning-fast cover-up, and what secrets were they so desperately trying to protect? The official narrative, a convenient cover-up. Narrator. As quickly as the military secured the site, the official narrative began to solidify. The following day, headlines across the region proclaimed a definitive, yet vague, explanation: meteor falls in woods. The U.S. Air Force, through statements to the press, asserted that the object was merely a fireball, consistent with a meteor or possibly debris from a re-entering satellite. They claimed a thorough search of the area had yielded negative results. Essentially, nothing was found. This dismissive stance flew in the face of countless eyewitness accounts and the visible military presence that had swarmed the area. Local resident Susan Miller, from interview accounts, they said it was a meteor. But we saw the trucks. We saw the soldiers. You don't send the army for a rock, do you? It was a lie, plain and simple. Narrator: the message was clear. There was nothing to see here. Any rumors of an unusual object, any whisper of alien technology, were immediately squashed. The government's calculated dismissal fueled decades of speculation, turning the Kecksburg incident into a classic example of perceived governmental obfuscation. But beneath the surface of official denials, the truth of what truly happened that night lay buried, waiting for someone to dig it up. What was it about this specific object that warranted such an elaborate and sustained campaign of secrecy? The answer, we believe, is far more extraordinary than any meteor, unearthing the truth beyond the official story. Narrator: decades passed, but the whispers of Kecksburg never faded. Researchers, driven by a relentless pursuit of the truth, began to compile a compelling case that utterly dismantled the official narrative. Eyewitness testimonies, meticulously collected over years, consistently described the same bizarre object: a seamless, bell-shaped craft, approximately 10 to 12 feet tall and about 8 feet in diameter, with no visible seams, rivets, or propulsion systems. The reported symbols, often likened to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, remained a recurring, inexplicable detail. UFO researcher Dr. Eleanor Vance, from interview accounts, the consistency of the eyewitness accounts is staggering. These weren't fantasists. These were ordinary people, firefighters, police officers, who saw something extraordinary and were then told it didn't exist. The physical evidence, even if quickly removed, pointed to something intelligently designed, not a natural phenomenon. Narrator: account from those who managed to get closest to the object before the military lockdown confirm its unique properties. They observed no fire, only steam, suggesting an internal cooling system rather than burning debris. More critically, numerous witnesses, including some military personnel who later broke their silence, claimed to have seen the object being loaded onto a flatbed truck, carefully covered with a tarp, before being driven away under heavy escort. Its destination? A closely guarded secret. For years, theories abounded. A Soviet spy satellite, a top-secret U.S. military craft, or it was something far more alien. But the true nature of the object and its ultimate fate remained tantalizingly out of reach, protected by layers of classification and the passage of time. Until now, the twist, a glimpse behind the veil. Narrator: the search for answers often leads to unexpected places. After decades of dead ends and brick walls, a breakthrough. We've gained access to an unprecedented source. A high-ranking, but anonymous, former NASA employee who has chosen to speak out, driven by a profound sense of duty and a lifetime of unanswered questions. This individual claims to have seen internal, top-secret reports that leave no doubt about the Kecksburg object's true origin. Anonymous NASA insider, distorted voice. What fell in Kecksburg was not from this world. The reports I saw, they detailed an advanced craft, unlike anything we possessed, or anything the Soviets had. The symbols weren't just decorative. They were a form of language. It was studied intensely. Narrator: this insider provided us with schematic drawings that eerily matched the eyewitness descriptions from 1965, confirming the bell-shaped design and the distinctive symbols. But their revelation goes far deeper. They hinted at the existence of a highly classified extraction team, composed of the nation's most brilliant scientists and engineers who have spent years, possibly decades, meticulously studying this object. This research, according to our source, is taking place in a deeply classified, subterranean laboratory, its location shrouded in absolute secrecy. This suggests that the Kecksburg object was not merely recovered and forgotten. It became the subject of an ongoing, highly covert scientific endeavor, potentially unlocking technologies and knowledge beyond our current comprehension. Narrator, and then the ultimate reveal. Our source provided us with this, a grainy, yet undeniably chilling photograph, purportedly taken from one of those very classified reports. It shows a clear view of the Kecksburg object resting on the forest floor, precisely as described by the bewildered residents. And in the background, unmistakable, are the figures of military personnel, medicu. Conclusion: the unanswered questions. Narrator: the Kecksburg incident is more than just a UFO story. It's a testament to the lengths governments will go to control information, to protect secrets they deem too profound for public consumption. This photograph, this new testimony, opens a Pandora's box of questions. What precisely was this object? What did the hieroglyphs mean? What secrets did it hold? And perhaps most importantly, if the government has been studying this non-human technology for over half a century, what else are they keeping from us? The truth about Kecksburg forces us to confront not just the possibility of life beyond Earth, but the unsettling reality of hidden truths right here at home. The night the sky fell in Kecksburg may have ended, but the questions it raised will haunt us until the full truth finally emerges from the shadows. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and always remember to question what you're told. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the shadows of history. Until next time,